Welcome to this video. I have a very special guest, Cody Sperber. The legend Cody Sperber is joining me on today's video, and he's going to be sharing with us a unique strategy to capitalize on your dead leads. And so Cody's going to share with us a way to where you can take those dead leads, he calls them, and turn those into money-making buyers and money-making sellers that you can then make a profit in real estate. We're going to talk all about how to do that on this video coming up.
Go to 8weekacademy.com to claim your free copy of Jerry Norton's most popular training. In it, he reveals his blueprint for making $100,000 per year with real estate.
If you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton. I make millions of dollars a year flipping houses, and on my YouTube channel, I teach you how to do the same. So be sure to subscribe and watch my videos. So Cody, this is awesome to get to be with you. It's kind of funny because I go back way back to where you go back. There's all these new people in the real estate space, and it's kind of fun to be like, I don't know if I want to call you an old dog, but like, been around forever. And clearly like me transitioning into all different kinds of real estate and business. Your roots are my roots, which is wholesaling. Most of the people watching this video are wholesaling, some flippers, fix and flippers, and you do luxury. And so I relate to you quite a bit. And I hope everybody watching also is thinking that wholesaling, for me anyway, and for you, isn't the end all be all. It's just a stepping stone onto other things and getting into bigger deals and higher margin deals. You can go volume with wholesaling, that's fine. And I know you still wholesale, I still wholesale, it's your roots. But there's all these other ways that you can really capitalize and make money. But I really love this idea, this method that you follow to capitalize on those leads, because we spend all this money, we get these leads, whatever small percentage of them convert, and then think about all those leads that we just throw away. So talk to us about that. What is this all about?
I mean, just think about this. First off, how hard do you have to work to generate leads?
It's so much work.
It's so much work, and there's so many different strategies out there to generate leads. And whether you're putting in the hustle and you're pounding the pavement and you're driving for dollars or bandit signs, or you're spending money on direct mail and pay-per-click or time on SEO, it's so much work to generate a lead. It's sad how many investors are out there that only have one tool in their toolbox, which is the all-cash offer tool. And when they get told no, the only fallback they have is to put it in a follow-up campaign and hope at some point in the future the seller wakes up on a different side of the bed and says, I think I'm ready to take an all-cash offer.
9 months later, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a maybe. And what's happening in today's market, think we're at a very peak of the market. It's kind of a frenzy out there, and sellers are very educated. So it's getting, there's less and less people taking right out of the gates an all-cash offer. But what they will take, and this is the point of this training video, is to make sure you have more than one tool. Add those creative finance tools to your tool belt. The seller carryback, and this is how I think about it, and I train my team. It's as simple as this. There's only 3 situations you're ever gonna run into. The seller's gonna own the house free and clear. When that happens, that's a seller carryback conversation.
Owner financing.
Owner finance. Will you carry? Will you be my bank? Let's bypass the bank. Let me go directly to you. And what I love about the seller carryback conversation is there's an unlimited ways to structure that deal. It's so fun to be a creative real estate investor when you know how to pull just a couple simple levers, because think about it, what are the levers? Down payment, interest rate, length of loan. So it's like, how much will I pay you right now? What interest rate will I pay you over time? And how long will we do this deal for? And there's so many fun, creative ways to structure that to make it a win-win for the seller. And when you educate them and they realize, who's the one person in every transaction that always wins? The bank. So why don't you, instead of just selling or getting all these lowball cash offers and selling at a discount, I'll give you the price that you want. You give me the terms that I want. You transition to become the bank, which is the best position to be in. Because if I don't pay you, you just take the property back. So I love that. That's situation 1. Situation 2 is they own the property, but there's a loan on it, but there's not a lot of leftover equity. And when that happens, now you're going to start thinking subject to, right? Taking over their mortgage subject to it staying in place. You could do a wraparound. It's called a mirror wrap or an exact wrap. That's where the loan is for $150,000, but the house is only worth $150,000. We'll wrap it for exactly $150,000, so there's no leftover equity. And so, or you can do what's called an agreement for sale. or a contract for deed, and you make payments over time on that. And that's, it's like as soon as you see the situation, I know sub 2 or mirror wrap or contract for deed. Okay, boom, I know that. And then if there's a bunch of equity, which is scenario number 3, and a mortgage on the property, normally they want some of that equity, but you can make them payments on it over time. And that's just called a wraparound mortgage, all right?
Create a second loan.
You can create a second, so you have your underlying mortgage, then you have your second, and you wrap the entire thing with a brand new mortgage. And once I understood this, my mentor just said, look, you're leaving all these dead leads on the table. Just take some time. It takes about maybe 3 to 6 months to get really comfortable making creative financing offers. But once it clicks, it's like all of a sudden I went from only getting like 3% closing ratio of like, if I generate 100 leads, I might only actually close on 3 to 5 of them, right? As an all cash offer. But it's going up 10, 15% now because I have a couple other tools.
And you know what's cool about that, Cody, too, is, you know, some people listening might be thinking, well, I really don't want to buy and hold and have renters and all of that. These creative financing deals, that's just acquisition, right? So once you structure that deal, you can wholesale it. And what's great about the wholesale of those creative deals is those cash buyers that do want to buy and hold, they pay a premium because now they have low down or no money in other than maybe the wholesale fee. And so they'll eat those things up. They don't care about equity. They don't care about any of that as long as they cash flow. And so you might be thinking, well, man, I can't pay that price. You get that price on terms, you'll still get a $15,000, $20,000 wholesale fee if you don't want it yourself. And that's
exciting. Let me show you how to creatively get it. This is really cool. On the front end, we use these creative financing strategies to get into the deal, right? Well, what's the exit, right? Well, if we package it up, we might be able to just wholesale it. But what if I put a lease option tenant in there, get an option deposit, and then wholesale it to somebody with a turnkey, as a turnkey rental with a renter in it, and the whole conversation is just I get to keep the option deposit and you get the property.
So you made it easier for the buyer, less money for the buyer because you already got the deposit.
I just keep the $10,000 or $15,000, so I earn my own wholesale fee. The cash buyers love that pitch because they're like, dude, this is so easy. I don't even have to pay you. No, I did all the work. I paid myself, but now you take over the deal from there, and I don't have to deal with them at all.
That's gold right there. That's cool. I love that strategy.
So many ways to do creative real estate. My mentor used to always tell me, you will never have a money problem, Cody. You will only have a creativity problem. And once that clicked, I was like, man, this business is fun. Game on.
So let me ask you, because this is really interesting. Do you do like a 2-step approach then with your sales team? And if this would be you if you're on the phones, but do you say, okay, well, here's my all cash low ball offer, and then when they say no, then introduce step 2 creative? Or do you first uncover what their equity and debt situation is and go right in for the perfect fit?
Yeah, so we're always it's a motivational interview, right? We're asking them what and how questions to uncover their pain point, their motivation, what's most important to them, and their mortgage situation. And like I said, we're identifying one of 3 scenarios. Once we identify it, right away my team is trained, okay, I know that
tailor fit.
I'm gonna tailor fit based on what the seller is saying. Because if the seller tells me, man, I've already had 13 lowball cash offers, I can't stand those guys. Well, what am I gonna be, the 14th that rolls in like, hey, here's my lowball cash
for $1,000 more, you know?
Yeah, and it always felt kind of cheesy to me. But what if you just look at them and say, look, what if I could pay you exactly what you want? Would you be willing to think creatively with me and be open to a different type of conversation? Well, what do you mean, Cody? And what I did, because my sales guys weren't really good at explaining creative to sellers, I went and I scripted out a 4-minute cartoon video, and I had it produced for one cartoon.
Sales team.
For my sales team to use as a tool. I have one for each of the 3 scenarios. So a seller finance, a sub 2, and a wraparound. And whenever they hear the situation, they say, would you be willing to have this type of conversation? If they say yes, they say, hey, give me your email address. I'm sending you a video. It's about 4 minutes long. Watch that real fast, and then I'll answer questions afterward. And then they watch the video, a lot of times with my sales guys just on the phone, just being quiet, and they go, what do you think? And they're like, I didn't know you could do that. And now we're in the game. And really, it's just a paperwork play. Same amount of effort, different contract. Once I train my team, send the video, don't talk very much, just send the video, then grab the paperwork, fill it out with them, send it over, go through it with them on the phone, and just lock up deals. Our closing percentage went through the roof.
That's really cool. When you're looking at that number on the creative, tell me if this is what you do, but one thing that we look at is if we can understand the cash flow based on the PITI, right? The principal, interest, taxes, insurance, whatever that number is, and I can structure taking that over, let's take subject to, taking that over, or even the seller carry. If I know rents are $1,200 and that PITI is, $800, and I can create a spread, I could care less what the number is, because now somebody's going to want that deal. Either I want it to keep, in portfolio, or another person I can wholesale to is going to want it because of the cash flow.
Yeah, it's exactly.
That's really it, right?
We're looking to, if there's a loan on the property, we're always looking to take over a good mortgage, which means that it's fixed, it's got a good interest rate, and the further along they are into their loan, the better. Yeah. And we're also looking
at pay more principal.
Yes,
right?
more is going to principal. And we're also looking at cash flow. If it has, my general rule of thumb for our team, if it has less than $400 a month in cash flow, we're not going to do it.
Okay.
And if it's more than $400 a month in cash flow, we will do it. The only exception to that rule is if it's in a super hot area with no HOA, that's like a travel destination, we'll turn it into an Airbnb and we'll create the cash flow.
Because there's no zoning against it.
Yes. Yeah. And so we understand there's certain markets where people just love to travel. And an Airbnb, which is my favorite rental strategy, has about 3 to 6 times the average cash flow than a normal rental. Yeah. So we're creating it.
Right. Yeah, very exciting. So guys, I've got a free creative financing hack guide, that talks about these different strategies. I'm sure Cody has some stuff that we can give you. We'll put some links below in the description. But you really got to open your world up. When you get past just a one-trick pony, there's nothing worse in this business than being a one-trick pony. You got one method, a cash offer, I'm going to wholesale it. If that's your only play, you're going to limit your ability to really excel in this business. Once you can start to open up, I had someone ask me like, well, what different things can you do? Whatever you can think of, you can structure that into a deal. Like, just get creative. Start thinking outside the box and really start to put some amazing deals together. It's going to really blow up your closing ratios. Your cost per acquisition is going to go way down. Your nets are going to go way up. It's just going to transform your business. So thank you for sharing those gold nuggets, you guys. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to also put Cody's YouTube channel and his Instagram. I'm sure you're already following Cody. If you're not, then be sure to do that. Get in his world. He's doing amazing things. And thank you, Cody, for sharing this.
Thank you for allowing me to share, man. I love your channel. I love everything you're doing. Keep doing it. You're serving a lot of people and helping them get out of the rat race. And that's what we all want, to make money, have fun, and do it on our own terms.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll see you on the next video.